Did you know that there's a movement continually gaining momentum in Africa? What if Africa, all 55 countries, moved beyond cooperation and became a single political union, a United States of Africa? For some, it's the ultimate Pan-African dream, stronger sovereignty through unity. For others, it's a high-risk idea that could concentrate power, spark disputes, and ignore local realities. In this video, we trace the movement's origins, key players, why it keeps resurfacing and what it could mean, pros, cons, and the hard obstacles in between. The phrase United States of Africa is often used as if it's one blueprint. It isn't. Some proposals imagine a true federation with a continental executive, parliament, and shared defense. Others prefer a confederation where states keep most sovereignty but pool power in a few areas: trade, borders, and security. A third approach focuses on functional integration. Build common systems first. Free trade, mobility, payments, then let deeper unity emerge over decades. The intellectual roots go back to Pan-Africanism, an idea shaped by Africans on the continent and in the diaspora. In the early 1900s, diaspora leaders argued that global Black liberation required political, economic, and cultural unity. That unity debate intensified after World War II, when anti-colonial movements gained momentum and independence became achievable. A major milestone came in 1945 at the Fifth Pan-African Congress in Manchester, often remembered as a catalytic moment for African independence thinking. It connected diaspora intellectuals, organizers, and future African leaders around a shared insistence: colonialism must end, and Africa's future must be shaped by Africans. Unity wasn't just emotional, it was strategic. No figure is more linked to a political United States of Africa than Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana. Nkrumah argued that newly independent states were vulnerable, militarily, economically, and politically, unless they united quickly. He promoted an African federation with shared defense, foreign policy, and economic planning. To him, unity wasn't a nice-to-have. It was a shield against neo-colonial influence. But Africa's leaders did not agree on speed or structure. In the early 1960s, the Casablanca Group pushed a stronger supranational authority. The Monrovia Group preferred a slower, state-centered approach: collaborate, yes, but protect sovereignty first. This disagreement shaped the kind of continental institution Africa would build next. In 1963, African states formed the Organization of African Unity, OAU, a historic compromise. It advanced solidarity and anti-colonial coordination, but it largely protected state sovereignty and emphasized non-interference. This helped keep fragile new states together, but it also limited enforcement power, especially when conflicts and coups spread. Fast forward to the late 1990s. In 1999, the CERTA Declaration called for establishing the African Union and accelerating economic integration. Institutions like an African Central Bank and a Pan-African Parliament were frequently discussed in this period. Libya's leader, Muammar Gaddafi, aggressively promoted a United States of Africa vision, but many governments pushed back, wary of rushing political federation. The African Union was officially launched in 2002, replacing the OAU. The AU expanded ambitions: deeper coordination on peace and security, development programs, and long-term integration. But the core debate stayed alive. Should Africa aim for political union soon, or build unity through practical, incremental systems first? In 2007, AU leaders again confronted the idea directly in what became known as the Grand Debate on a Union government, often framed as a choice between a rapid shift toward a United States of Africa versus a gradualist path anchored in regional blocs and phased integration. Today, the most visible momentum comes from integration projects rather than immediate political federation. The African Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA, is a flagship initiative to reduce barriers and expand intra-African trade. Agenda 2063 provides a long-term vision with multiple continental programs. In practice, Africa is integrating through trade frameworks, infrastructure corridors, standards harmonization, and emerging payment systems, often faster than politics can unify. If momentum accelerates, it will likely be driven less by a single charismatic push and more by institutions and large political economies aligning incentives. In 2025, the AU's rotating chairmanship and the African Union Commission leadership are central conveners, while AfCFTA Secretariat is a practical engine for market integration. In parallel, leaders of major economies, such as Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, Ethiopia, and Egypt, shape whether integration becomes real policy or remains a slogan. The pitfalls are not abstract. Political union raises hard questions. Who holds power? Presidents, parliaments, technocrats, or citizens? How do you prevent a democratic deficit at continental scale? How do you balance large economies with smaller states so integration isn't domination? Add ongoing conflicts, changing governments, border disputes, and uneven institutional capacity, and the leap to federation becomes politically risky. Even funding existing AU programs has been an ongoing challenge. In the best case, deeper unity could mean negotiating power in trade, debt, and diplomacy, stronger continental infrastructure planning, expanded labor mobility, and a bigger internal market that attracts investment and supports industrial growth. Shared security coordination could reduce cross-border militant threats and stabilize regions that no single country can secure alone. But the risks are real. A powerful central authority could drift toward elite control, diverse political systems could clash, and one-size policies could punish countries at different development stages. A rushed union could trigger backlash, especially if citizens feel unity is imposed from above rather than built from lived benefits. So where does this go? A sudden, federal leap is unlikely without exceptional political consensus. The most plausible future is gradual integration, trade, mobility, standards, payments, until political structures become easier. Another path is multi-speed integration, where coalition moves faster and others join later. The final path is status quo, unity as symbolism, not system. The United States of Africa is not just a dream. It's a test of governance, trust, and shared incentives. The question isn't whether Africans can unite culturally. They already do. The question is whether institutions can deliver everyday benefits, jobs, safety, mobility, and dignity, without erasing local voice. If unity becomes practical, legitimate, and citizen-driven, the dream changes from poetry into policy. Some of the main champions of the United States of Africa movement have been Kwame Nkrumah, president of Ghana after independence from 1957 to 1966. He was an early leading advocate of a rapid political union, argued for a continental union government to protect independence from external domination. He succeeded in putting a clear, widely cited intellectual case for African political unity into mainstream post-independence debate, e.g., Africa Must Unite, 1963. However, his push for immediate federation did not gain continent-wide buy-in. Political instability and his removal from power curtailed momentum for his fast-track vision. Haile Selassie, Emperor of Ethiopia from 1930 to 1974. He was a key convener in the 1963 formation of the OAU, promoted unity while balancing state sovereignty. He's succeeding in helping institutionalize continental cooperation through the OAU's founding moment, unity, as an ongoing diplomatic project. However, the sovereignty-first compromise emphasis limited how far the institution could push political integration or enforcement. Muammar Gaddafi, ruler of Libya from 1979 to 2011, he was a high-profile, modern-era champion of a fast-track United States of Africa, strongly associated with the 1999 CERTA push and later union government lobbying. His success was the CERTA initiative, which helped accelerate the shift toward establishing the African Union framework, even if the AU that emerged was not the full federal model he wanted. His main obstacle was that Many leaders resisted rapid federation, his preferred federal structure was not adopted, and his approach often faced political pushback and credibility limits. Robert Mugabe, first and second president of Zimbabwe from 1980 to 2017, he was a very vocal Pan-Africanist figure who publicly aligned with Gaddafi's push for a single African government. He later served as AU chair 2015, giving him agenda-setting visibility. Under his influence, there was a major amplification of the union government argument during the 2007 era debate, and he used continental platforms to frame sovereignty, anti-imperial themes. However, his advocacy was constrained by controversy surrounding governance and economic collapse in Zimbabwe, which weakened international and intra-African consensus around leadership-led integration narratives. We've explored the dream of a United States of Africa, its historical roots, modern developments, and the challenges and opportunities ahead. By understanding these dynamics, we can appreciate the complexities and implications of African unity.